There's a subcultural meme that implies the vindication of abnormality, in contrast to a proposed normalcy that society encourages. Those who identify with the meme or adhere to this worldview believe that the normalcy of the following should be deterred: the concern of ridicule, the concern of being ostracized, etc. All of this is justified on the grounds that the masses are disempowered and maybe even manipulated through the means of honoring the normal. In this worldview, the majority are termed the sheeple. And then there exists another worldview which is less consciously created. The adherents of this way of life are considered the sheeple or the masses. These people go to work, watch football games, and are very concerned about the way others view them, and generally orient themselves by the compass of normality. Both of these worldviews may cause neuroses. The adherents of the first worldview may begin to see the majority of people as robots or zombies, whose souls were hypothetically exchanged for the comfortable assimilation into the norm. This inevitably leads to the adherents of this view to disconnect from their friends and family, a hallmark of a cult-like action. The second worldview is also problematic in that it reinforces ignorance, credulity, turns its back on the wonder of the world, and relishes in all of the distractions that the world has to offer, sometimes even compulsively so. It would seem then that moderation between the two views would logically follow. But insisting on applying moderation in an attempt to reconcile this dissonance doesn't answer the question, which of these two worldviews is consistent with reality? In other words, if we believe that we're able to reconcile the two views, we would have to denounce the contradictory nature of the extremes of each worldview. For example, the first worldview sees abnormality as a virtue of independence, while the second worldview conversely sees normality and conformity as a virtue of assimilation. So which is it? These aspects can't be reconciled thoroughly, and in that I fail to see moderation as a solution. But is there even normality in the world to reckon with in the first place? Arguing for or against normalcy presupposes that such a particular group of normal people exists. But in fact, there may only be individual people who just live in their own way, and that normalcy may just be a fallacious conceptual fabrication. A concept that itself leads to neurosis because it's not in accordance with reality, and sets a flawed premise in motion whose illusory conclusion necessarily follows. Maybe the only way to solve this problem is to discard the terms normal and abnormal,